Hello, it's Charles with Uber Eats. Today is Friday, the 29th of August, 2025, and I am blessed that God gave me the wake-up call, and I got to see another day down here in McAllen, Texas. And you are watching this and hearing this, and you're fortunate that you got God's wake-up call this morning as well. You're equally as blessed as me. I'm up at the gas station, and I just got my free cup of ice in my Starbucks cup. And this morning I went with the Monster Rehab Peach Tea Revive and Recover drink. I've got one more left. I brought the other can out to my car. I shouldn't have done that. I'm concerned now that it's going to explode over the course of the day from the heat. I hope not. I'm going to tie it off in the bag in case it does erupt from the heat. I don't normally do this, but I forgot to mention I bought a Mega Million or Powerball ticket for Wednesday's drawing. It was, I don't remember how much it was. It was like 400 or 500 million. And I did not hit. I used, the number I went with was from a fortune cookie that I got at the buffet I've been eating at. When I used to buy Mega and Powerball tickets, I always just had the computer pick the number. But since recently going to the buffet, I'm like using the numbers than the fortune cookie, and I have several fortunes saved in my wallet, the ones that I like and I think apply to me and my lifestyle, and I think are a good chance of coming true. I save all those, and the ones that don't really apply to me and the way I live my life, I don't save, because not every fortune is going to be yours. You can kind of, I think I'm of the mindset you can kind of tell if a fortune cookie would apply to you or not. That's the way I look at it anyway. But there's three reasons I went with this particular number on Wednesday, and I'm using the same number this coming Saturday. Three reasons I like this number and the fortune that it came with was I was in a particularly good mood that day at the buffet, and I just felt lucky. So something told me that these numbers are going to be good, and I'm going to play them at least through Saturday on the Powerball. And the second reason I liked it is because of the message of the fortune cookie gave me. It said something about an owl. I wrote it down here. It says, "The wise owl hears all before it flies." And I like that message. And the third reason I like these numbers on the fortune cookie is because it had my favorite number in there. 23 is my favorite number. I think I like the number because it was on Michael Jordan's jersey, and I liked him as a basketball player growing up. So that's three reasons why I'm picking this number to play again this Saturday. According to Google, the jackpot this Saturday is over 950 million. And it's supposed to be the sixth highest Powerball jackpot ever recorded. So I'm hoping and praying I hit it. I'll be happy if I just hit part of it. If I don't, I think if you don't hit the Powerball and you hit all five numbers, you still win a great deal of money. I promised my cousin that the one I stayed with in Ohio when I went back there for the family reunion, I promised her I will split it with her if I hit. If that happens, we'll have to make other arrangements, because I don't feel it's fair that I pay all the taxes on it. So we'll have to work something out where she pays half the taxes and I pay half the taxes, and then we'll split it from there. Of course, I'll take care of other family members with my half of the money. I don't need, half of 950 million or whatever it works out to, after taxes. I'd be happy with a few million, and I'll help all the family that I can with what's left over, of course. I did end up using that agave syrup in two of my coffees yesterday. I ended up using it all in one coffee because I poured the first packet into the first coffee at the McDonald's and put the creamer in. I probably should have tasted it before I put the creamer in, just so I could get a sense of what effect the syrup had on my coffee, but I didn't do that. I wasn't thinking properly. Well, anyway, I put the syrup and the creamer in there, and I couldn't tell that there was any sweetness to the coffee. All I could taste was the creamer. It took the bitterness away, but like I said, I didn't taste anything sweet from the coffee. So from the syrup. So I went ahead and put the second agave sweetener in there, stirred it up really good, and still couldn't taste any sweetness from the coffee, from the syrup I put in there. So I just decided not to swipe any more of that agave sweetener from the Starbucks anymore. And I think my taste receptors might be screwed up in terms of honey, because looking back at that, whenever I drink this peach tea, it tastes like honey to me, and it shouldn't. There's no honey in this drink at all. And another thing I think, why I think my taste buds might be screwed up, I was living with some people back in Columbus when I first moved out. And no, I was actually still living at the house. I moved into with some roommates up in Bell Fountain. And back then, they tried to get me interested in putting honey on my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Well, I tried it, and I didn't care for it. And I didn't necessarily understand that I wasn't tasting the honey. I just didn't think the honey was doing anything for the sandwich. So I stopped. I got out of the mood of putting honey on my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Well, now looking back, and with this new experience I'm having with the honey in my coffee, I don't think I can taste honey at all. So it just doesn't do anything for me, I guess, is the best way to put it. Something else I forgot to mention about two things I forgot to mention about the Powerball. It's $2. It stayed at $2 while the Mega Million has went up to $5. I knew this for a while. I just got off. I haven't been playing either of them for very much, and I don't play either multi-state lotteries at all unless they're over 400 or 500 million. And I don't anticipate hitting. It's just fun to imagine what you'll do with the money if you hit. But I'm not going to play the Mega Million because I can't justify spending $5 on a ticket. So the only time I'm going to play now is if it's the Powerball ticket. And the second thing I've realized about the Powerball, I think this is a new feature on the tickets. I've always had the computer pick out the number, but this time, because I was utilizing, generally speaking, I always have the computer pick it. Sometimes I use the numbers from a fortune cookie. And even when I was doing that back in the past, I would just read off the number to the teller at the gas station. They'd plug the number in for me. Well, this time around, I filled out a Powerball bet card. And I think this is a new feature on the card. I might be wrong about that. But I filled out my number, and he sent it through, and he said it wasn't reading it. And he initially thought, and I thought, it was because I hadn't filled out the little bubbles of the numbers I wanted to play. So I refilled out the numbers, all the numbers I wanted. They looked fine to me to begin with, but I filled them in more thoroughly. And he sent it through again, and it still wasn't reading it. And then he figured out that it was because I hadn't selected either the annual 30 annual payments or the cash value option, and that's why it wasn't accepting my ticket. I decided to go with the cash value option because I'll be 50 later this year, and running out of money with the lottery jackpot isn't much of a concern as mine that I had when I was younger. If I was much younger, I would rather go with the cash option because my line of thinking there is, let's say I get $1 million. I get 31 million payments over the course of 30 years. I might screw up with that first $1 million, and I'll be fine because I got another million coming in a year. Whereas if I were to take the cash option, and I could really screw up and blow most of that 30 million, and then I would be destitute the remainder of my life, and that would be shameful after being a millionaire, you know. So that's my line of thinking now. But I'm much more wise with my money. And even if I do screw up and blow some of that 30 million or whatever the jackpot happens to be, I most likely will have invested part of it in something where I can rely on it and not be homeless, you know, going into my old age. That's my biggest concern, is at some point in my life being homeless. I don't want that ever to happen to me. I assume most people don't anyway. I did check the high temperature and weather today. I didn't use Google. I just got all my information from Meta AI, I think it's called. And it's called Meta AI. It comes through my Facebook chat box, basically. When you go into, like, you're going to do a Facebook message, it's the top choice on all the people that you chat with. Well, I do like this. It provides more information and more detailed information. It says that the current temperature right now in McAllen, Texas is 81 degrees, and we've got humidity of 84 degrees. High temperature today of 103. Low today of 79. Wind is between 10 and 20 miles an hour today. UV index is low. I don't really understand what that is. I've only heard that whenever I used to watch TV. I don't have a TV anymore. But I remember the weatherman talking about the UV index, and maybe has an impact on how, you know, your risk of getting sunburnt or UV radiation on your skin, you know, getting skin cancer and stuff like that. I'm going to look that up when I'm done with this video, just out of curiosity, so I could refresh my memory on what UV index is. And then we've got a 10% chance of rain here in the Rio Grande Valley. Sunrise time is 7:11, and sunset time is 7:55 p.m. tonight. And the hottest part of the day is going to be between 3 and 4 p.m. And then lastly, it says, are you going to be outdoors today? Stay hydrated and take necessary precautions with your health. So that's the reason, a lot of the reason why I like using Meta AI now to check out the weather down here. It's got greater detail and more information about your general needs for the weather today. I checked the mail yesterday. I check the mail every day, even on Sunday, just in case I missed something from the day before. If I checked it on Saturday and it hasn't gone yet, that's why I always check it every day of the week. But anyway, I got a letter from my car insurance, and it stated that I still owe them money. It says it's an installment payment, but I'm not entirely sure about that. I'm not very good with their app, my car insurance app, but I'm pretty sure I set up through the app that I wanted the entire payment to come out. I'm not doing installments. I know I selected that I don't want to do payment installments. I want the whole amount to come out, and I want it to be paid for the next 6 months, so I don't have to worry about it. Well, either two things have happened as a consequence and causing me to still owe them money. Either I screwed up and I made the wrong selection when I was going into the app to change my address, and I changed it to installments, or the second thing that's most likely has happened is my insurance rate has gone up since I moved to this new address, and that's my previous lump sum payment didn't cover that change in my insurance. So I'm going to do two things that I hadn't planned today. I'm going to go to the bank to make sure that my car insurance, that lump sum payment has come out in the latter part of July or the beginning of August. And I'm also going to call my insurance company directly and find out what's going on with my bill. because I want to establish that my lump sum payment is coming out. I don't like installment payments. So that's a couple things that I hadn't planned to do that I need to take care of today, and some errands. I am feeling much better this morning. I forgot to mention the time when I was speaking about the sunrise and sunset, all that. I was engrossed in experiencing what I had learned about the weather and the wind and the humidity, all from Meta AI, and I forgot to mention the time. It's 5:27 a.m. right now. So we've got about an hour and 44 minutes, I think, until sunrise this morning. But I'm feeling much better. I think what I was experiencing was mild heat stroke from being out in the hot weather, and it had anything to do with COVID. I'm concerned I'm breaking out with COVID because of the situation in the house I'm living in. Them talking about COVID, and my suspicions that one or more of my roommates has COVID, but I don't think I do. I think I would have been coming down with the symptoms by now. Either a cough, achiness, sickness, wanting to throw up. That's another early sign of COVID, is getting nauseous and throwing up, I've recently learned. So I think I'm in the clear, and I'm still going to take necessary precautions with my roommates. I'm not going to associate with them, hang around them, or be anywhere they're coughing and stuff like that. And a couple of them have started coughing more recently, so I just need to do my best to avoid them. I do that naturally. I avoid my roommates just as a natural practice, and they avoid me too. So I don't feel that they should take it personal. I don't take it personal that they avoid me. Sometimes when I go to crack my door and I'm about to go out to the bathroom, I've noticed I've interrupted one of my roommates, and he'll go back and close his door real quick. Mostly him wanting to be private, I'm assuming, but maybe he had intended going to the bathroom, and I disrupted that for him. So it's all understandable that we don't want to interact if we can avoid it. I think that's just generally how guys are, guy roommates anyway. But I had a decent day. I had an okay day, I guess, with the Uber Eats app. I ended up going out farther out from Edinburgh and McAllen that I prefer. I went out to Mission, San Juan, and some other little town I can't recall right now. I think I wrote it down, but I didn't write it down. It doesn't matter. I ended up taking these deliveries without paying attention to where they were ending me up, which I'm not mad about. I made enough to pay for in gas getting back to my part of town, so I'm not hurt about it. It was just it lends me to wait much longer in between deliveries, but I took advantage of the time in between deliveries to write a letter to my aunt back in Ohio. I've got an aunt and an uncle left back in Ohio, and I'm gonna mail that letter out to her today at some point on my way to the buffet and the plasma center. I've got those two things to do today. Got a good bit to do today, unplanned things. I checked out my Uber Eats app this morning, and one good thing about that, I used to think I thought an update had happened with the app where I have to actually go online to check my profile and see how I'm doing with all the metrics, but I was mistaken about that. I've got to refamiliarize myself with the app because I hadn't been using it for a few weeks, upwards of a month, if I'm being honest. But I figured out how I can go in and check things out without signing on, which is good. My deliverer with care is still at 308. These are just changes from yesterday I'm speaking to. My quick and efficient is still at 265. My friendly score, 264. Perfect handoff, 247. None of that has changed as of yesterday's business. But my communication score went up 1. So somebody thought I was a good communicator yesterday. It went up to 229 now. And my cancel rate is still at 0%. on time is 98%. While I'm speaking on that, something has changed with the app, at least how it measures distance to, expected distance to the restaurant and to the customer, and how long it anticipates it should take me to get there. It's not giving me as much time as it used to get the order to the customer. The time to the restaurant hasn't changed as far as I can tell, but at least half my orders I took yesterday, it was expecting me to get there much sooner than it should have. And as a consequence, I expect my deliver on time percent is going to steadily go down. Whether that's going to impact my ratings on the app and what good orders I get, I don't know. That is yet to be seen. My satisfaction rating is at 98%, and my acceptance rate is at 44%. My acceptance rate, I anticipate, will drop down steadily if it doesn't stay at 40 in the 40s. I have 3 criteria for orders that I take. I don't take anything that's less than $5. It has to pay me at least $18 an hour, and it has to pay me at least $1 per mile. And if it doesn't do that, I don't take it. Also, I don't take anything from Walmart, Lowe's, or Home Depot. The only store that I will accept from for the time being is Walgreens. I take all restaurants and Walgreens orders because I haven't had any issues with Walgreens orders. Walmart orders are the worst. Half the time they're not ready, and the other half of the time, practically, they've been picked up by somebody else and they're still floating around in the Uber Eats app when they shouldn't be. I take that back. I forgot about laundry orders. I will take any laundry orders going forward until they start causing me trouble. That's something that the Uber Eats app has recently picked up, is laundry orders. I need to remember that. Something else that's changed, at least with my profile, before I left for Ohio to go to see my cousins and family and brother and all his family and all that, I had achieved platinum status. It goes, you start off at gold, then you go to diamond, and platinum is how the ratings go up. And those are supposed to determine what good deliveries you get. If you want to get better deliveries and better paying deliveries, you need to work yourself up to platinum by giving good service and being on time and all this. Well, I think mine not delivering for Uber Eats as often in the last month has dropped me back down. So I'm back down to the bottom. I'm a gold delivery driver now. So that's another thing I need to work toward, is striving to become a diamond driver and then back over time becoming a platinum driver again with the Uber Eats app. Well, that's about it for me. What I've got planned for today is to go to the post office and mail my aunt's letter, go to the buffet and load up on a lot of chicken, shrimp, and any other protein I can get, and eat a well-balanced meal there. I'm probably going to try a different ice cream. The last time I was there Monday, I was scooping out the ice cream and somebody had dropped some strawberry ice cream into the ice cream I liked. And I tried some of that strawberry, and yeah, I think it's strawberry. Yeah. So I liked it. So I'm going to probably get a strawberry this time around. Then I'm going to go to the buffet, the plasma center, and hopefully have a smooth donation there. And then after that, into the afternoon, I'm going to go to my bank and make sure everything's squared away with my insurance. And I'm going to call my insurance company and make sure that I'm not on installment plans. I want to make lump sum payments going forward. And that's all I've got planned for going into the weekend. God bless you all, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.